Croeso, welcome. This is ben.llywelyn, and last week I told you I was going to bring you a video about Celts in Central Europe, a specific tribe. However, as I'm moving house, I will get that video for you. I'm building it. We're going to give you a Welsh lesson this week. And for those of you who already speak Welsh, I'll give you stuff that a lot of first language Welsh speakers don't even know. So everyone at every range of Welsh gets something in this video about the corff, the body in Welsh. I am building that video for you about a specific Celtic tribe in Central Europe, more of a documentary type thing. However, I have moved house and I'm still putting things in order. You can see the wardrobe I'm building all around me. So you can see my green screen, and then this table, boxes, like, I need a new chair. This thing creaks. So there's a lot of work I'm doing on the side at the moment. It's about to improve substantially, but that background of outside work is still going on, just preparing things for you. Let's do something I know a lot about, and that's the Welsh language, and something that's important, but also something I can give a lot of you who are first language Welsh speakers or fluent in Welsh, but also beginners, and that's go through parts of the body in Welsh and explain, some of these come from Latin, like corff means body, it comes from corpus, meaning body in Latin. So let's dive into that. Parts of the body in Welsh. A quick word about the shelves behind me. They're still a bit battered, and if any of you have any objects that you would like me to display, perhaps for your business or something, maybe you can send that to me and we can talk, and I'll put it up here on display so people can see it. Let me know. Pen is head, and this one is used quite a bit differently to English because it has multiple meanings. We say pen blwydd hapus for happy birthday, and that literally means happy end of the year, not happy birthday, but that you've completed your year, much like Spanish and Latin-based languages tend to say. We use it a lot to mean someone who's in charge of something. Pennaeth, penradran, the head of the department. And in this way, it's a bit like, it's similar in meaning to chef in French, though not exactly. There's a bit of carryover between the two and how they're used colloquially. Pen and chef. Penadaeth, the end of the journey. And you will see a lot of it in the landscape. Penamynydd, the top of the mountain, the head of the mountain. Pentre, village literally means the end of the town. Trwyn is nose, and you see this not nearly as much as head, but you do see this in the landscape every once in a while. It's tending, in my opinion, to be of older usage referring to the land, but it's like a promontory, like this promontory from Lord of the Rings. And you see this in a place name in Scotland that I really like. Caradhrona is in Scots or English, but it comes from a Welsh word, and it's Caradroina, meaning the fortress of the promontories, or the fort of the noses. is the word for mouth. This one's pretty easy to remember, I think, because you drink, although not directly, I hope, from a keg. And the liquid goes into your mouth. At least that's how I remembered it to begin with. Keg. The word for eyes in Welsh is, I think, entirely unique to any language that I've come across, not cognate, as far as I'm aware. Llygaid. It just sounds very specific to Welsh. One is llygad, more than one is llygaid. And the way that I remembered the differentiation between the plural and the singular is that llygaid are the window of the soul, which in Welsh rhymes with llygaid, enaid. So soul and eyes in Welsh rhymes. I find that appropriate. But one is llygad. And this is in frequent use in poetry from the age of Taliesin. You'll hear that. Llygad y ffynnon. You hear things. That's kind of rumor comes up from what you see upon the well's waters. That's quite eerie that I like that saying is in Welsh. Keeping on with the face, Tolkien. Tolkien. Not Tolkien, like J.R.R. Tolkien. Tolkien. There's a long A. Tolkien. And this is related to a word, talar. And this is a specific meaning, like the plowed land at the edge of a field, so that the plow can turn. That's the tolkien, sometimes raised a bit with a bit of a tolkien, a talar. And a lot of people will just say tal for a forehead in Welsh. Those are good to know. Cleistia. One is cleist. And one that's good to know related to this and helping to remember it is a cleistog you lay on. The pillow is an eerie thing. Cleistog, it's earful. And French has this as well, actually. So an ear in French, oreille, and a pillow, oreiller. It's like French, cleist, cleistog. And French and Welsh, I find at least, have a bit of structural similarity in syntax that whilst French and English share the words, and cleist is one of them, with pillow, cleistog. In Welsh we have two different kinds of hair, two specific words. I guess in English you have fur, but you can't really describe that for your own body, can you? In Welsh, this is gwallt. Specifically the top of your head, that's gwallt. But other types of hair are blaw, for the more private parts. You also get kedors in some dialects, but I'd stick to blaw for now until you know the difference. Some of them can be a bit inappropriate. Let's move on. Gudv. This has many variants. Gudv is more formal, so I would of course prefer that. But I do use Guddig and Gudl. These are north and south variants. It doesn't matter which dialectical word you use in any situation. Less often you have Moonagol, which I think that's a delicious word. Moonagol. And Gwar, which Gwar is more for the nape of the neck. A sgwyddau, plural. This is pretty simple, but a verb you need to know is ysgwyddo, to shoulder. And I think we use this more than in English. We'd say ysgwyddo'r baich, to carry the burden. We use it in terms of carrying and in some senses a sense of responsibility to ysgwyddo, the task to take responsibility for yourself. And like with pen and a couple others, trwyn, this can be used for geographical terms. So ysgwydd is kind of a sloping offshoot mountain merging into another mountain. And you get this, I think, quite a bit in Eryri, up in the northwest. But you see it all over Wales, here and there. Merthra. Ysgwydd is kind of a hunched formation, bulged out of the side of a mountain. Keep that word in mind, bulge. As we go on later, you'll see what I mean. Braich. Arm. Anyone who speaks any Latin-based language can tell you this comes from Latin. Brats in Romanian, bra in French. Yeah, but what I love about this one is the plural changes. Brechia. Brechia. The ending changes the middle and it inflects it just so it sounds a bit pretty like that. And this one is used a lot as a geographical term. Braichemanith, the arm of the mountain. Kind of like ysgwydd was, but this is more stretched out, almost like a ridge, but not quite exactly a ridge. It's an extension, elongated into an arm, a braich. Arddwrn. Wrist. This is heard incorrectly as garddwrn, and sorry to note any first language Welsh speakers listening, that is incorrect, but I do understand. We in Welsh have a tendency to just attach a G on to vowel starting words, and over time, especially I think in the northwest, a lot of people say garddwrn. The standard is arddwrn, and this one does the inflection as well with the plurals. Arddyrna. Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it? See my video on Welsh plurals if you want to know more about that. Llaw. Hand. And there's a couple things I need to note for this one. First, it's related to palm in English. You wouldn't expect that. But look at this word. I'm not going to try and pronounce this. This is Indo-European, or a reconstruction of what we think it was. And this is the word for flat. And as Germanic languages formed, they took the sound one way. They focused on the P. And Celtic languages went the other way. They focused on the H. And that carried on over many centuries to change meaning into hand and palm. But also dwylaw became dwylo, meaning two hands, and this means two hands which are connected to the same body. Specifically, it's a dual plural. You get a lot of these in Slavic languages, by the way. Welsh doesn't have very many, but we do have a few. And llawia, this word, is just hands, plural, many hands, or even two hands that are not related to each other. But if they're from the same body, it's dwylo. Bis. That's one finger. Bisev. Fingers. I like that "eth" ending for plural. Bowed is thumb. Sometimes bodvis. Yeah, bodvis. And this gives us the word bodja, to thumb. Bodja. And going on in that category, the word for toe. I thought about showing you my toes, but that might be seen as discourteous. Bistroid. Literally foot finger. Biseth troid. Foot fingers. Foot. Troid. And this has an Indo-European connection with English tread. That's how I remember this one. You tread with your foot, or your feet. Plural is tried. And I remember that plural because llygaid and tried are both the plural. It's that sound, even though it's spelled slightly different. Would you like to see my broken heel bone from a couple, almost 3 years back? That's that on the screen. This is saldo, heel. Sodla is heels. Moving up to the ankle. Now we have a few for this one. Welsh is very pluralistic in dialectical variation. So, fair is what I used to use more of. I've kind of moved on to a different word slowly now. Migor and plural migirna. But these are both northern. Yeah? In the south you have pigor, but also surn. That's 4 words for 1 word. Just choose which one you enjoy most and you think is most beautiful. That's what I would do, rather than focus on what someone speaks in a tiny village. Just choose which one you enjoy. I prefer migor. What do you enjoy out of those 4 words? Let me know in the comments. Koise. And if you're liking this video, why not hit that like button for me? Thanks. And I didn't do elbow before, because I think elbow and knee should be learned together. So knee, penguin, spelled like this, even though you'll see in a moment thigh. It comes from the end of the thigh, literally. And then elbow, penelin. They've got that pen, that end. They've got that head element. And thigh is clean, which it's spelled differently to penguin, but you get the point. There's an area over in England that should be in Wales, and they mispronounce it. They call it Clun. It's clean. Here on the map. Parts of our country were bitten out and put into England. Like clean. Bowl or bola, depending on where you are. I think bowl is more northern, bola southern. I don't remember which is which, but just pick one, it's fine, doesn't matter. And remember the bulge that I mentioned? This is related, as is the word budget, which comes from a billowed sack, a bag, which has a related root. Belgium is related to this word as well. A bulge, that's what it is. The bowl, the belly. A tit is a teth. Female breast, bron, brona is plural, and bron you use quite often for a gentle sloped hill, the breast of a hill. I guess we do say that in English, but in Welsh we definitely use it more often to describe sloping hills. Bronai. And for a man, the chest is a breast. Breast. I know for an English speaker it sounds silly, but from a Welsh perspective, wouldn't it sound silly the other way around, that a woman calls her chest a breast? Depends which language is your first language. Anyway, I thought that was a useful one that I could do relatively quickly whilst I tidy up my new home and get my studio more ready for you and prepare another documentary type video for you. And for my now 10 Patreons. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you very much. You are the wind in my sails. If you'd like to help me on Patreon and get this going up to a full-time job, please consider joining me on Patreon. And for all of you, no matter what your level of support, diolch yn fawr, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.